All right, we're live. All
All
right. Episode 2, Sports Ramblings Podcast. Mike, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you, John?
Can't complain. Another week of football behind us. The World Series started,
Yeah.
Oh, Christ.
No.
The Eagles play tomorrow night.
Can we start with that?
Yeah.
Let's get that out of the way. Let's get that out of the way.
Let's get all this bullshit out of the way with the Eagles.
I hate that the Eagles are now like this shitty Thursday night game. Like every week.
That was a pre-planned game.
I know, but
because they figure, the Eagles are going to be semi decent. Giants are going to be dog shit.
They always Thursday night game.
Well, yeah, that's always like I feel like the Eagles Giants is always
back in black time. We're back in black, of course.
I said it was going to be week 6 week 7.
Yeah,
when we have the Giants, we're going to be like, oh, I said at the time, this was after the Rams game, we're going to be 0-6.
We're pretty close. We're not that far.
Yeah, hyping up this back in black game, but we're 1-5-1. So or 1-4-1, whatever the fuck it is. I don't even know.
There's no way we're gonna lose, right? There's no way. We lost to a football team.
I think.
I went into that game the same way I'm going into this game, but like I feel like if we played Washington now, we would beat them.
I agree, but
I think we're better than week 1. We were really disgustingly bad.
It was horrible because you blew a 17-0 lead.
Yeah.
And
everybody played like shit on top of it.
Everybody played like shit.
Was,
they all played good to start that game. And then once, they got out to the 17-0 lead, and then once I forget the drive after we last scored in that first game to make it 17-0 when Carson Wentz threw the pick. I don't know if you remember. I was like, we got to score here because there's something about a 17-0 score.
In the red zone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was something about a 17-0 score that just doesn't sit right.
Carolina was 17-0, right? A couple years ago.
I was at that game. I was sick after that game.
Even
week 1 last year, we were up 17. We were losing 17-0, and we came back.
17. Not a good number.
There's something about that. But anyway,
Miles Sanders is out. Ertz is out.
You got Lane Johnson back.
Our whole lineup, dude. It's worse than it was last year. It's so much worse.
And I feel like the reason why I think we might lose this game is because the Giants have a division win. They have a little bit of momentum. And Joe Judge, I don't know if you know, he went to Lansdale Catholic. He's from Warrington. He's coaching in his hometown. Yeah. He's coaching in his hometown. So he's going to want to come out with a bang.
Extra motivation.
Yeah. So we'll see, man. I
can't see us lose
I don't see us losing, but at the same time I do. I see some bullshit.
I've said that about a lot of games, and it's come back to bite me in the ass a couple of times.
And we also got to remember, too, this is the Giants. This is a team that we historically played great against. The last time we lost the Giants was in 2016 at MetLife. I don't know if you remember that game when Odell torched us 2 touchdowns, and then
when he peed, or was that here? That
was the Jake Elliott field goal game.
Oh.
But
yeah, I don't see us losing, but
at the same time, I wouldn't be surprised if we did.
Not at all.
Yeah. So, I don't know, man. I just you got 2 shitty teams playing each other in a shitty division.
So bad.
On a shitty night to play football.
They got to bag Thursday and just go double. Monday.
We've been saying it the entire year. Bag Thursday, play 2 Monday, and it's been working. I've been loving it.
Dude,
I've been
Monday, 5:00 Monday. It's perfect.
It's great. It's great.
And then you got the Thursday night game or Monday night game.
Yeah, I think it's perfect.
It works.
I think you have that extra game on Monday. That would be your Thursday game.
Yeah.
And then you have that kind of the prime time Monday.
Yeah.
You know,
it doesn't necessarily have to be like a huge game on.
Yeah,
like
I think it's perfect. I think that's great. So I've been seeing a lot of stuff on social media about this fan base just going after the Cowboys, the Giants, the football team, making fun of them.
What about how bad they are?
Oh yeah, no, like the Monday night when Dallas was getting their shit kicked in by Arizona, all you see is like Green Legion. Dallas stinks, and it was that picture of the couple where like they were like hugging each other or whatever the fuck it was. You know what I'm talking about?
With the Cowboys fans?
Yeah. There were two Cowboys fans, and I was just like, we're not much better. We're not much better at all. I think it's an atrocity that one of these four teams is going to host a playoff game. I think it's an atrocity. I hope that bubble happens, to be honest with you, just because I don't want to see any of these fucking teams host a playoff game. It's horrible. And then you're going to sit back, and you're not much better. Tell me the Eagles are not much better than the Cowboys.
I think the Cowboys.
Tell me right now, do you see the Eagles winning a playoff game?
Fuck no. No.
Yeah, no.
I don't see any
Giants winning a playoff game.
I don't see any of the
football team winning a playoff game. Do you see the Cowboys team winning a playoff game?
I don't see any of these teams being anything but like a fucking doormat for a wild card team.
That's basically what it is.
It's ridiculous.
This is horrible.
Someone from who? Like the NFC West. Well, the Niners suck.
The Niners, I can't understand them. I really can't, because they looked like the team that we thought they were going to be on Sunday night. Yeah. I think injuries have really been killing them. And then they just had that one, let's take a dump game against Miami. But, I mean, I don't think they're out of it. I think they can make some stuff happen. They got a good coach.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they don't have – well, Bosa's out for the year, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to lose that defensive presence.
Yeah.
But, I mean, they can still sneak in. I think Seattle has that division, though. I don't think there's no question about it.
What's Arizona's record now? 4-2.
4-2. 4-2. They're in second place.
Yeah.
I looked at the standings today. Yeah, they're in second place. They're in second place in the West.
They'll probably get a wild card spot.
Probably. And they're not a bad team. I mean, they got Kyler Murray. They have Nuke. Basically got Nuke for fucking free.
They'll never be able, like, David Johnson wins like MVP. Still not justifiable.
Speaking of the Texans, they're open to moving Will Fuller.
Trading him?
Yeah. They're open to trading Will Fuller. So that means they're going to go to tank mode.
Give Watson like $1 million, like $100 million. I said 100.
Yeah, but then you're going to waste all these years of Deshaun Watson.
Yeah,
I don't understand.
They can't get rid of him after what they did with Hopkins.
I mean, they have no choice.
He would never come back if they don't give him anything. He's not coming back after this deal's up.
No, and I wouldn't. But Will Fuller, I mean, other than week 2, he hasn't been terrible. He's their only option.
Yeah, Brandon Cooks has had a good couple last games, but I don't see him.
Randall Cobb, and then they have Kenny Stills, right?
They got a bunch of like dudes, like
guys you can just throw in there.
Yeah, they got no stud, but they need a stud, which they have.
They're missing a stud. A stud.
They had a stud.
Which is horrible.
It's so dumb. Why?
It's Bill O'Brien.
You didn't want to pay Hopkins, but then you take it.
But he should be getting that money. He's the top 2 receiver in the league.
Yeah.
He's the top 2 receiver in the league.
Every penny of what Arizona's giving him, he's worth it.
He's definitely worth it. If you told me give up David Johnson, who hasn't been really, when was the last time he was effective? 2016? 2017, 2015. 2015 he came out, and then 2016
2016 was his year.
Yeah, that was the last time he really showed stardom. He's been above average, but
he's been all right. He hasn't been anything special.
Yeah, it's not something to write home about. We're not talking about Ezekiel Elliott or
he's got super bloated contract.
We're not even talking about a fucking Josh Jacobs.
Mm-mm. He's like
he's like that
he's like
tier that's closer to like Devontae Freeman. I would say.
Yeah, somewhere around there. I'd put him with like I wanted to say Melvin Gordon, but Melvin Gordon's higher than him. I don't really know where I put him, but he's definitely not like a top tier dude that you trade DeAndre Hopkins for.
Absolutely not. And it's just to see that team like this team could have been in the AFC Championship last year. Had they had a decent like defense.
We're beating the shit out of Kansas City.
They were up 24-0. They were up 24-0, and they could have been there. They could have been in the Super Bowl. Because you figure they played Tennessee twice. They would at least, know what they were getting in that AFC Championship game.
Yeah. That's a fair point.
Speaking of Tennessee.
Yeah.
5-0. They played Pittsburgh
really
this week.
Good, they're really good.
They played Pittsburgh.
I got Pittsburgh.
I was wrong about Pittsburgh.
Hitting them.
Yeah, I was wrong about Pittsburgh this year because I thought, okay, this is going to be Ben's final hurrah. He's going to last 5 weeks.
Yeah. Has Ben been like special? He hasn't been doing, crazy
He's
stuff.
Hey, considering that they're 5-0, they have.
Hey,
you've been seeing a lot of Chase Claypool. Yeah, they've been seeing a lot of Chase Claypool.
Defense is so sick.
Oh yeah, and everyone's getting mad that the Eagles' running game isn't effective. Look at the defensive fronts they were
against
playing.
Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh. Against this whole season.
Yeah, and
look Washington, Baltimore, Pittsburgh, San Francisco. San Francisco was good last year, but where are they? Yeah, Aaron Donald.
But like,
Miles Sanders leads the NFL in yards per carry.
Yeah, so like everyone's like, this is why this fan base is so dumb. They're dumb. Like, look at who you put against these defensive fronts blocking for your running backs.
That goes for Wentz too.
And yeah, it does. And to be honest with you, I've kind of laid off on the whole Wentz thing because if we have a good offensive line, we're not talking about these issues right now.
I think the first 4 weeks, first 3-4 weeks, most of the blame fell on Wentz. And
the decision making.
It was deserved. But lately he's been fine.
Oh yeah. And I think he needed a game like San Fran. But like you gotta remember, he's still in that mode where he's like
his confidence isn't.
How do I play football now? Well, not like that, but like ever since the injury, it's always been like that.
Yeah,
and he's always been like stiffer. He hasn't been, as
the expectations for him are always so high.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like when he came back, everyone was like, "Oh, we're going back to the Super Bowl. We're this, that, and the other thing." Like, no. We're not,
favorite. He's like a betting favorite to win MVP every year, like top 6, top 7 to win MVP.
Which he's not. Now, if we had an elite offensive line,
like we did our Super Bowl year,
yeah, or get good production from him.
And Brooks would.
Then you expect
that injury when that happened, like that cost us like at least like 2 or 3 games, like there.
Yeah,
we were already
and now
2 or 3 games in the dumpster. Like when,
and I think that's the biggest thing for the deadline. Like you got to go out and try and find something. I don't think it's as much receiver.
I saw John Ross requested a trade. I would take him, get another burner.
But the thing is, I don't know if the problem is with the receivers. I think the problem is on the offensive line, and that's what they need.
That's true. Fulgham's been good. Ward's been good.
Like Mike, you've been getting very good production out of these guys.
I haven't been seeing like any drops.
Probably.
I haven't been seeing any drops.
No,
big receiving numbers for Fulgham.
Yeah.
When was the last time a Eagles receiver had like 150 yards and a touchdown before him? I couldn't tell you.
Yeah. I mean, and I think you can probably try and keep these guys around for cheap.
Yeah, they're not gonna take like, big ass.
I'd rather have at this point right now, and I understand he's played 3 games or has been
productive
in the picture for 3 games.
Mm-hmm.
I take Fulgham over Alshon Jeffrey.
Oh yeah.
I take
Alshon Jeffrey.
I take Greg Ward over Deshaun Jackson.
Yeah, I think they're different receivers.
These two,
they do different things, but yeah.
With Greg Ward, you saw him last year,
and he's still like, at the level that he was last year.
These are the guys that play with a fire under their ass.
Mm-hmm.
They go out there, they give you 110%.
Yes, as cliche as it is, they're like perfect Philly guys.
And hey, I mean, it's working.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think the big thing is, and this is like a no-brainer, this is obvious, if you have an offensive line, the Eagles might be one of the better teams, I don't want to say in football, but in the better teams in the NFC.
We'd for sure be winning the division.
We'd win the division. We can probably win a playoff game.
Probably,
and,
yeah.
I mean, that's what you kind of got to look at now, because if you can get the division, like if you win these 3 games, you've established your dominance in the NFC East. But you got to win, but you got to focus on winning a playoff game. Mm-hmm. Because right now, how I look at it is, if you win 2 of these next 3 games, okay, what will we be? Like 3-4 and 1, or 3-5 and 1?
3-4.
Okay, and we have 2 divisional wins.
Yeah.
And then what? We give Dallas or New York a divisional loss, or New York 2 divisional losses.
Up in a good position to.
I mean, it sets you up. It sets you up.
Yeah, at 3-5 and 1, you're in a good position to win your division.
Yeah, and then you're playing, and then you're going to play. You're going to have to set your team up to win a playoff game, because at that point, okay, you got to be like, okay, yeah, we're going to be in the playoffs.
You're good. You're like you. If you win 2 out of these next 3 games, chances are you're going to make the playoffs.
Absolutely.
So
and good thing is 2 of those games are at home. With fans. So
yeah, I think fans being back actually.
Dude, I think for sports in general, I think it's great.
Yeah.
Like the opportunity to go to sporting events now. I mean, this is something that I've been, missing the entire year. Yeah. I mean, that's what I thought. Like baseball without fans at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
I thought, yeah, okay, this is great. This is nice. And then, it's nice to have sports back, because you had that like relief feeling that sports were back. Mm-hmm. And then it just got to the point where it's just like there's something missing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I mean, we're always going to watch football the same way we watch football.
Yeah.
Like the way we watch it is with our friends.
Mm-hmm.
And so you don't really hear a lot of the crowd noise when you're watching football, like Eagles games.
But yeah, you hear like shots of the crowd, people going crazy in the stands.
And then you go back and you look at
another
right. And you go back and you look at the highlights, and you hear like the background noise, or the noise that would be filled in by fans.
Mm-hmm.
You're just like, I don't like it.
Yeah.
But here, I watched highlights from the Baltimore game, the Pittsburgh game, even opening night in Kansas City. It's all great. Like it's all, I really like it. I mean, it's starting to fill that void. It's not as impactful, but it's something. And I have a feeling, depending on when they get this vaccine out, I don't want to say that there's going to be a team with 100% capacity this year, but you could probably get to 75. Like you could probably get like Dallas to 75. You can get maybe us, Philly, to 75, Pittsburgh to 75, Kansas City definitely to 75, Miami. I think and that's the thing that you want to see in the playoffs. Like you want to see fans, and especially for the Eagles. Like
if it was the NBA and they did the bubble thing, but it's weird to have like empty, full stadiums.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and then the bubble was just like a gym.
Yeah, and that's what they did for hockey too. So they did it in Scotiabank Arena where the Maple Leafs and the Raptors play.
Mm-hmm.
But they put screens up and scoreboards up to make it's like in a box, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was kind of cool, you know. Because the sound was all like compacted.
Yeah.
I mean, the NBA seemed pretty normal, considering it was in a bubble.
Like,
Same with the NHL.
The lack of fans didn't really change the NBA that much, I don't think.
Yeah, and I think, with baseball and football, I feel like you need something. You need something.
Yeah.
And I think, now I'm very happy that we're getting fans back.
There's no dead time in basketball, really. It's pretty much go, 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 and then timeout, you go to commercial. Football, there's a lot of like in between plays. Baseball, there's a lot,
Yeah, I mean,
not as much constant action as in basketball.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I really do believe. I think you're going to start to see teams progress in capacity, have stadiums progress in capacity as we move on with the season.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because
football, anything like terrible.
And with the Eagles and whoever wins the NFC East, I think with either the Eagles or the Cowboys, right now, who are the only two teams that have fans in the division, it's going to greatly benefit. And it's going to help. Because I think the Giants are playing in front of fans for the second time this coming week.
Giants got fans.
Yeah. I mean, the Giants don't have fans.
Oh, okay.
MetLife, state of New Jersey said no, and there hasn't been like any updates.
Yeah.
Like, because, they're all like, they it's still the restrictions in New Jersey, but had they were in New York, I think New York is able to have fans now.
Yeah, I think they'll get to that point.
I mean, I hope. I hope in the next 3 weeks. So, maybe there's a MetLife trip for me, but probably not. Probably not. I always like going up there. That's a fun place to go to an away game. That's so much fun. So I think they're better than home games if there's a lot of Eagles fans, but
yeah, I've only been to one Eagles game.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, Washington doesn't have fans. I mean, there's a lot of teams where it's just like
these teams, though.
I mean, yeah, that's true.
I mean, Cowboys. I feel like even if you're a Washington fan, you don't want to fucking go see the football team.
Yeah. And even last year, tickets were like $75. When I went to FedEx Field, I paid $70.
That's not bad.
It's not awful. It was perfect.
Yeah.
And I like sitting high for football games. I don't like sitting low. I like sitting high, like around between like the 30s, because you can see the field, so it's perfect.
Yeah.
It worked out well. But anyway, the Steelers played the Titans this week. I think we touched on this a little bit. It's a 1:00 game. These are two teams at the beginning of the year I didn't think would be at this point.
I was not high on Tennessee. I didn't think Ryan Tannehill was going to be able to duplicate what he did last year, but he's been better.
I was not high on Tennessee, and I was not high on Pittsburgh at all. At all.
I thought Pittsburgh was going to fight for playoffs. I didn't think they would be undefeated.
I thought Ben was going to be back on the sidelines week 5. And I didn't think he would be at the level he's playing now. And you got to give credit to their front office for getting a guy like Chase Claypool, who's been really good.
They do it every year. Every year, they're like, Steelers draft this dude in the 3rd round, and he's good.
Yeah.
Every time.
Yeah. Ridiculous. And I saw a lot of Chase Claypool at Notre Dame. I saw a lot of him at Notre Dame, and I didn't think he would be to this point.
Do you think he's going to keep doing this consistently?
I think he's going to be a weapon for them.
They got a lot of dudes on that offense. A lot of receivers.
I just think it just depends on, he's a weapon. He's a threat. I think he's here to stay. I don't think he's ever going to be a star.
Yeah.
but I think he's going to be like a good number 2.
Mhm.
Because
Yeah.
you got to remember, Ben Roethlisberger needs that number 2 guy.
I feel like that's all they've got though. Pittsburgh. They don't have a number 1. They got a bunch of number 2 guys.
Yeah, except for AB back and when.
I don't think Juju's got what it takes to be a number 1 dude.
I think Juju's just there. No, I shouldn't say that. I mean, that
Juju was way better with Antonio Brown than he is.
He's way better with Antonio Brown. He's still been good. He's not been a horrible receiver,
right.
But I'd say him and Claypool are on the same pedestal
as far as like
as far as production, as far as like a better receiver. I mean, Claypool's got size, and you got to remember too, they got James Conner.
Mm-hmm. Strong running game,
He's a strong running back. So they got some very underrated players. And with Roethlisberger, I think Roethlisberger, he's looked like he looks strong. He looks like I thought he was going to really regress after what happened last year with his arm, but he's zipping the ball, he's throwing the ball, like his good chemistry with these receivers. Their offense is clicking. After the first 3 weeks going into our game against Pittsburgh, I thought, this is a game we can win. This is a game that I think, we might expose the Steelers, and then they come out with that against us with Claypool, and they are with a really good offensive game plan against the Jim Schwartz defense. And then this week against Cleveland, I think just solidified
that defense.
How good Pittsburgh is this year.
Yeah. Because I don't think Cleveland's a pushover this year.
Absolutely not.
Cleveland's going to fight for a playoff spot, I think.
They have bad losses, but against good teams.
Yeah.
That's something we got to remember. Like, week 1 was against Baltimore. Baltimore's a good team.
Nobody expected
blowout. And it was an away game.
Yeah.
This past week, Pittsburgh. Blowout, away game.
They're 4-2.
Who, Baltimore?
No, Cleveland.
Cleveland, yeah. I believe so. Because they beat Cincinnati, Dallas, Atlanta. Did they beat Atlanta? No, I don't think they played Atlanta. No, that was 18.
Cincinnati, Dallas. I don't know.
Washington. They beat Washington.
Who else did they play? It doesn't matter.
But they're 4-2. They're 4-2.
They're gonna fight. They're gonna fight for a playoff spot.
Yeah. And that's a team that.
And they beat the shit out of them.
Oh yeah.
What do you think? You think Baker can take them?
No.
Do you think?
Absolutely not. I don't think Baker Mayfield. I still think Carson Wentz is better than Baker Mayfield. I think Jared Goff's better than Baker Mayfield. Maybe go a little bit lower. Tell you what, I don't think this is going to sound crazy. This might sound crazy. I don't think Ryan Fitzpatrick is that far off from Baker Mayfield. And I think if you put Ryan Fitzpatrick in with the way he's been playing this year, if you put him with Cleveland,
that benching kind of made no sense.
It made no sense at all. But back to the point, if you put Ryan Fitzpatrick with Cleveland, I think they might be a 6-0 team. But
6-0.
No, I don't want to say. I think the Pittsburgh and the Baltimore game would have been a lot closer. That's a better way of saying that.
Okay.
But
they'd be better.
To that benching though. With Miami.
Okay, yeah. What I don't like. Okay, I've wanted to see Tua play all year, but like, you don't make that decision right now.
Absolutely not. And you got a guy who has the hot hand.
Doesn't make any sense? Like a really hot hand, really hot hand, and you take him out for a rookie.
It's not fair to Ryan Fitzpatrick because I feel like Brian Flores is like, okay, we've seen this with this dude so many times because he's a journeyman backup quarterback. And whenever he comes in, he's going to, be hot. He's going to be a good quarterback. And then, he'll shit the bed at some point.
Yeah.
And
I think you got to
I
wait
think-
till it shits the bed, though.
yeah, and
Remember
he
Tampa?
hasn't.
Remember that year in Tampa? That last year?
Yeah, and
2
it was
years?
actually a game against Pittsburgh where he started to shit the bed. He had 4 picks,
Yeah.
but in that game he came back.
Yeah,
The
they made that
Buccaneers could have won that game.
competitive.
Yeah,
He
so
probably ended up losing it for them.
what
But
did Tua have, like 3 for 3 with 9 yards? And we
one,
got to remember too, this was against the Jets.
yeah,
This is not a team this is not against, a Cleveland Browns, a Pittsburgh Steelers, a Kansas City Chiefs. This is against the New York fucking Jets, who are going to have the number 1 overall pick.
they're so bad.
And you have Tua throw 3 throws, 9 yards, and you're like, okay, Fitz, you're going to go to the bench. Tua, you're going to start, and that's that.
I guess they would know if Tua's ready for this more than I would, I guess.
Yeah.
So,
but this is from the outsiders. Like, okay, if Tua comes out this Sunday or whenever they play next and has a day, we're wrong.
yeah, but I think
Tua and
gotta wait.
No, and if Tua, and the thing is, like, you want Tua to start to learn more. If Fitzpatrick's playing good, you want Tua to kind of see, what he's doing, like what adjustments he's making at the line, where this safety's playing, where this corner is, who should I target,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's how you got to look at it.
Yeah, I think Fitz is building up chemistry with those guys too. Like, this is his second year in Miami, and they've mainly got the same weapons.
Absolutely, and
he's been balling the last couple of games. And like sorry about that.
And what were we saying?
Yeah, he's been playing like amazing. He's the reason that they're winning football games. They're 500 right now because Ryan Fitzpatrick has been really good.
Yeah, and he's definitely seen it. Like, he's making the adjustments. He's, I mean, they have good offensive game plans. This is not something we saw Miami doing this year, really. I mean, you saw Miami taking a step above what they were.
Mm-hmm.
They're still not a good football team, but
they're a 500 football team.
Yeah.
And you'll take that with a like 38-year-old quarterback with a rookie on the bench that you got coming up later. You'll take 500 all day.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Pick. This has been a great year for Miami. They beat the shit out of the Niners.
Exactly, and that was a game where Jimmy G played.
He was awful.
He was dog shit in that game. But anyway, like, I mean, like you, I don't understand it. You want to see how much you can get out of Fitzpatrick before he would go off and probably go somewhere else, and kind of educate Tua a little bit, and kind of like maybe milk that to the point where, okay, Fitzpatrick's starting to play like shit, or Fitzpatrick gets hurt or whatever. Tua, you take over, take what you learned, recognize these defenses, recognize this scheme, whatnot, and then go in.
I think now that Tua is in, you can't take Tua out.
No.
At least, like, it's his team now.
No. But here's the advantage for Miami, though. I don't know what type of deal Ryan Fitzpatrick's on, but if they want to get rid of him at the deadline, they would get something probably pretty good for him, because he's a good bat. Because what he's done this year, I wanted the Eagles to get him in the offseason before we drafted Jalen Hurts as a good backup quarterback, because hey, this is a guy that can get hot, and with the way that things have been going, if we have to pull Carson Wentz, or Carson Wentz gets hurt late in the season, throw Fitzpatrick in there, and we might be in good shape. If we had Ryan Fitzpatrick in the playoff game against the Seahawks, I think we would have won.
Really?
I think we would have won that game. I was watching highlights. All you needed was a touch. I was literally watching highlights of that game today. All you needed was a touchdown.
Yeah.
I mean, there was 2 touchdowns scored in that game.
That game was really frustrating. And the DK.
It was so frustrating.
DK just iced it.
Yeah, that was the most. And whenever we play the Seahawks, so it was a frustrating game. You have Because once you have Wilson bottled up in the pocket, he's going to escape and take off for 15 yards.
Yeah, and they always own us.
Yeah, they own us. Kind of like how we own the Giants. Maybe that changes tomorrow night. I don't know.
I don't think so.
Now, do you call the season dead if we lose tomorrow?
He sucks.
Who?
Daniel Jones.
Oh, he's horrible.
Like that draft
horrible.
Made no sense at the time, and it's no better right now.
He's horrible.
They completely whiffed on that.
You know what I said they should do?
They
should, and this would take a couple years off Barkley, but I mean now it probably doesn't matter because I really don't think Saquon Barkley is going to be the same back after the ACL.
Mm-hmm.
But tank for 2 years for Trevor. Yeah. And I feel like Trevor would fit in there better than the Jets. Because if you think about it, if you think of New York.
They're the bigger team in New York.
Oh, yeah. I mean, because considering they have 4 rings and, and basically, like, when you think of New York football, you think of the Giants. You're not
thinking of the fucking Jets. No, unless the only thing you think about the Jets is like Namath. That's it.
That's it. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of like the Yankees and the Mets. Like, if you think of New York, you think of the Yankees.
Yeah. Yankees, Knicks, and Giants. And the Rangers. And then you got Jets, Mets, Nets. Jets, Mets.
That's how the fans are split up too. That's exactly how the fans are split up.
You're either like New York, like big New York, or small New York.
Yeah, I mean that's how it is. I'm pulling apart in my take here, so I'm gonna lay back in my chair. But anyway, that's what I kind of wonder sometimes. Like if the Philadelphia A's stayed here.
The Philadelphia what?
A's, the baseball team.
Oh.
If they stayed here, like how would that be split up? Like who would like who? I guess like I don't know. It depends on where the stadium probably is or would be.
Probably. I think
who would be more of a winner.
It's kind of hard to picture that.
Yeah.
Because
it's been so long. They left in like the 40s.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's kind of I don't know. It's something to think about.
Well, bringing another team here?
No. I mean, no. Like if they stayed here.
Yeah.
I don't think we're ever going to see the day where another sports team comes to the city, like in the 4 majors.
Yeah, it's Sixers, Flyers, Eagles, Phillies. That's it.
I mean, it's hard to believe.
Yeah, there'll never be like a second Philadelphia team in a city.
And as bad as some teams can be, at like one of these 4 teams can be at some points, I don't think you're ever going to see one leave.
Nah, never. It's too big of a market.
Like, if Philadelphia was Tampa Bay or
Jacksonville
or
St. Louis.
Yeah, like something like that.
Mm-hmm. Like a small.
And they had a team like the Phillies.
Not a small.
The Phillies would be gone by now.
Yeah,
the Phillies would be gone by now. They would have been gone 60 years ago.
They would have relocated.
Yeah. Speaking of the Phillies, I watched the MLB playoffs, and I have a little bit of and I know we're in the World Series now, and I know it's almost over. The season's almost over, but you're like, part of me is like, okay, I'm glad we didn't make the playoffs this year. They deserve it. They had a 60-game season, It shows the incompetence of Matt Klentak. But if they were to do something in the playoffs, all you would hear about was it was a 60-game season. It was this, it was that. Like, I mean, I just didn't want to deal with that argument. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I could see that argument, but it's.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we could all see that argument.
Yeah,
but if the Dodgers win, with the 2 teams you have now, right, LA and Tampa, both those teams going into the season were good teams. I think Tampa Bay, and I know you're not a baseball guy, but Tampa Bay, I had finishing second in the AL East to the Yankees. And, and that's a team that, and I was talking to one friend about this, they are used to not having fans or many fans in that ballpark.
Yeah.
So that's why they were so good this year. And then you have the Dodgers, who are just the overall juggernaut.
Yeah.
So I don't think this World Series matchup really made a difference. Tampa Bay's had good pitching. They had great pitching this year. They had above average pitching even with a 162 game season. So yeah, I don't really I think this World Series is legit, and I think can easily transfer to 162 games.
Yeah, no, I think, with all the COVID stuff, the NBA bubble season, MLB shortened season, the NFL season hasn't changed yet, but I feel like they might. But all of the hockey season, all of these seasons are legit. You win a trophy, you win a trophy.
Absolutely. And you got to remember, too, you're doing something in a difficult time.
Yeah, this is by no means easy.
And that's why I kind of wanted to see,
make it easier.
And as bad as as a scandal that you saw with the Astros,
mm-hmm.
and how much I disagree with it, I don't think they should strip them of that title, because I just think stripping titles and wins and all that, I think it's stupid, considering in that year, in that time, that was your World Series champion.
Yeah.
And in Houston that year, there was Hurricane Harvey.
Mm-hmm.
So why are you going to get rid of that? Why are you going to what are you going to do? Erase that? It never happened?
Yeah, you can't.
You can't.
You got to have a champion.
Yeah, and you can downgrade it. You can downplay it. You can say they cheated. You can say that.
People have been saying about the Patriots for 20 years. It doesn't matter.
And with the Patriots, I don't think it makes a difference. I really don't. And even with the Astros this year, I don't think it makes a difference.
Yeah,
look what the Astros did this year.
In the semifinals or the finals.
What?
The Astros just lost in the finals.
The ALCS, and they were a game away from going to the World Series.
Yeah.
They were down 3-0, and they came all the way back. But then they lost.
Trash cans and shit.
Obviously it makes a difference, but at the same time, you have the talent to do it.
Oh my God, yeah. All those guys are for real.
And that's the thing with New England.
Those guys weren't productive because they were cheating. They're really fucking good at baseball.
Oh, no, absolutely. And you have to think about this with the Patriots as well. Look at where Bill Belichick came from. Okay? He came from a coaching tree with Bill Parcells.
Mm-hmm.
He was defensive coordinator on the Giants Super Bowl team with Carl Banks and LT. And then goes to Cleveland. On his staff, he has Nick Saban. And then I think I took a job, the whole Jets thing, and then the Patriots.
Yeah.
That man comes from good football, a good football.
He's always been good.
He's always been good. Yeah, he cheated, but does it make a difference at the end of the day? No.
He's still
Donovan McNabb still throws up. Andrew Luck still shits the bed. Tom Brady still throws how many touchdown passes in that AFC Championship game? And 6 rings is 6 rings.
Yeah. It doesn't matter. It's not going to. The Astros scandal won't be really looked at.
No.
In a couple of years.
And I think the thing too is with New England this year, they're 2-3.
Mm-hmm.
They lost all those guys to the opt-outs.
Oh no, I still don't want to play this team.
But they're extremely well coached.
I still think New England's winning this division. Buffalo's been average, maybe.
Yeah, and look at who New England lost to.
Who'd they lose to?
Kansas City,
Seattle,
Denver, and Seattle. Denver was the only bad loss.
Denver, yeah.
They just didn't play well. New England just didn't play well.
Yeah.
That was the game where we beat them in 2015.
City and Seattle are the 2 of the best teams in the NFL.
That could be your Super Bowl. Think about that. That could be your Super Bowl.
That's probably the betting favorite to be the Super Bowl right now.
Yeah. And speaking of Seattle,
Antonio Brown.
How many years of a rebuild of rebuilding have they had since they won their first one?
Seattle?
Yeah, didn't they have 1 year where they didn't make the playoffs?
I mean, they were like, I think they were still above average. They were always fighting for playoff positioning.
I mean, that just shows you how good they are.
Like ridiculous. Russell Wilson
that's
a whole other level. If they get Antonio Brown, dude, if he can be like a fraction of what he was,
or if he can be tamed,
Russell Wilson's going to be like, yo, get your shit together because we can win like multiple Super Bowls.
Yeah. But here's the thing. I don't think Antonio Brown's a good idea for them.
It's not a good idea?
No.
They got Antonio Brown and Josh Gordon.
He's a fucking nut job.
Could you imagine that? Their receiving core would be DK Metcalf, Antonio Brown, Josh Gordon, and Tyler Lockett.
And then DJ Moore.
With Russell Wilson throwing the ball.
Backfield, Chris Carson, Rashad Penny, Travis Homer. I mean, like, you can't make it up. You can't make it up.
I want Antonio Brown to just like get his shit together because he was so much fun to watch. He's the best receiver I've ever seen.
They were the best. Like, if you had one of those, if you had him or Le'Veon Bell or Roethlisberger on your fantasy team when they were there in Pittsburgh,
I think I had Bell.
Dude, it was just so much fun. It was just so much fun.
I had Bell for a little bit.
Because, like, you'd be turn on that game at 4:25, you'd be like, oh, I'm in a shit bowl, or I'm losing by 30. And you have, like, Le'Veon Bell or AB. You get that. I mean, that would be great.
Yeah.
Those are, like, the days. And I hate the Steelers, but from a fantasy perspective, if you had one of those guys, oh, my God.
Yeah, I've been beaten by Antonio Brown a lot.
No, so have I.
Antonio Brown.
Yeah.
He's so good.
All right. Shall we get to our week 7 picks?
Predictions and picks.
All right, we'll save the Eagles for last. Carolina and New Orleans.
New Orleans. If Michael Thomas has a shitty game, I swear, dude, he needs to produce.
I'll go New Orleans. I mean, it's kind of a no-brainer.
I need him.
Is it worth picking Buffalo and the Jets?
Buffalo.
Yeah.
By default.
The Browns have their last game against the Bengals.
They play again already?
Yeah.
Dude, Joe Burrow is like really good.
I continue to believe that Herbert is better, but you look at Herbert's weapons compared to Burrow's weapons.
Yeah, Burrow's
Let's be fair.
T. Higgins or Tyler Boyd.
Let's be fair. I'll go.
I'm gonna take.
I'll go Cincinnati.
I'm gonna take. Is Baker starting, right? They confirmed that.
Yeah, but like they came off the game's away. I don't know if they're gonna have fans, but the game's away. I'm gonna pick Cincinnati in the upset.
That's a tough one. I think this will be a good game. AFC North football is always good, unless it's like a good team versus the Browns or Bengals. I'm gonna take the Browns.
All right.
I just think they're
better.
So
we have Saints, Bills, and I have Bengals. You have Browns. Cowboys and Washington. That's another one.
I hope Dallas wins. They not that I hope they win. I just hope for the sake of their fans.
For the relevance of our division.
Yeah.
I'll go Dallas.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Dallas.
I think this can low key be a very good football game. Green Bay and Houston. I think Houston's been playing.
Deshaun Watson's come on. Deshaun Watson started off shaky, but he's come on.
And I think ever since the firing of O'Brien, these guys have like a little bit of a fire under their ass.
Yeah. I think
with the way that
Green Bay getting destroyed by Tampa, I don't think Green Bay is going to keep playing like that. And they're coming off a bye. I'm going to take Green Bay.
I'll take Green Bay.
But I think Watson could make it interesting.
Oh, absolutely. I don't think that's a close game. I don't think that's a pushover game for Green Bay at all. Let's go Lions and the Falcons.
Oh, God. I'm going to go Atlanta. Julio's back.
Hey, I'll go Atlanta. I mean, that makes...
Okuda's going to go up against Julio.
Yeah. And then the game we talked about, Steelers, Tennessee. That's a 1 o'clock game.
That is a really tough game to pick. What's the line for that game? I feel like that should be like a pick 'em. Where is that game?
Tennessee.
It's in Tennessee. Okay.
Yep.
Two undefeated.
Tennessee opened as a 2.5 point underdog.
Really? Pittsburgh was favored? Wow.
I think rightfully so, because I mean Pittsburgh has the better defense. They have the better. I mean, you look at their Tennessee offense. Now, yeah, Ryan Tannehill's played really good, but I feel like a lot of their offense is still Derrick Henry.
For sure.
Meanwhile, you have Pittsburgh, you have a little bit of Connor, a little bit of Claypool, a little bit of Juju.
There's a lot of guys you got to account for when the case for Tennessee's not that many guys.
Now, I'm not going to say Tennessee is all one-dimensional because they have Brown.
They have a passing game, yeah.
They have Johnny
Smith, A.J. Brown. Tannehill has been playing really well. I'm gonna take
two undefeated teams.
Huh?
Two undefeated teams too.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna take Pittsburgh.
I'll go Pittsburgh. Because they have the better defense.
Yeah, their defense is just really good.
It's simply because they have the better defense.
Yeah.
And like I said, it's not like
Taylor Lewan's out for the season too. That's big.
Yeah, and it's not like Tennessee is overall. Like I said, they're not. It's not like they're extremely one-dimensional.
They're a running team.
They're a running team. They're a run first.
They do not hide it. Everybody knows. They know they're a running team. Everybody knows they're a running team. Nobody can stop it.
Exactly. Seahawks, Arizona, easy Seattle. I would say it's going to be. I don't think it'll be a pushover, but.
Is that a 1 o'clock
game? I'd say that's like a 24-10 Seattle win.
Is that a 1 o'clock game?
4. It's 4:05.
Yeah,
it's not like Seattle wins.
I think Arizona could keep it close, but I think Seattle will pull it out.
Yeah. Chiefs, Denver, Chiefs. Jags, Chargers, right?
Chargers.
49ers in New England.
That's
another one.
Game. If Brady was there, it would be better. Brady versus Garoppolo.
Yeah.
Cam's back, right? Cam played last weekend.
Mm-hmm. I feel like he'll be better.
I'm gonna go New England.
Yeah, I'm gonna take New England because I think Cam needed another week. Or needed a week to get his feet wet again.
Yeah, he was just COVID.
And I think Bill's gonna have them. Right.
Bill. I think if there's one dude that can shut down an offense that's dynamic and the rest of the league can't stop. Like you remember LA's offense in the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
Nobody could stop them all year, at all, and then they put up 3 points. I think I'm taking New England.
All right. I think this is a good Sunday night game. It's a rematch of the two Super Bowl in 2002. It's the Buccaneers and the Raiders.
I think that could be a really good game.
I like Tampa Bay, though. That's a John Gruden Bowl, by the way.
Oh, yeah. And he's in it.
Yeah, I I really like Tampa Bay.
I think I'm taking Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
I don't think the Raiders have enough dudes on offense.
Yeah, but you got to remember they're coming off a big win in Kansas City.
Yeah.
They had a bye.
And a bye.
They had a bye. They're rested.
They're riding high.
Tennessee or Tampa Bay blew out Green Bay.
Yeah.
But I'm still picking Tampa Bay.
I think I'm good. Yeah, I think Tampa is the pick.
And then we have another good game for Monday night, Chicago and the Rams. The 5-1 Chicago Bears.
Wow. That is weird.
They don't pass for a 5-1 team at all.
No, God.
But they're not a team to mess
if you
around.
told me the Bears would be 5-1, I would have.
They would be 5-1.
Laughed in your face.
If you took, all right, here's how you have to phrase that. We went back in August.
Yeah.
And you told me the Bears make a quarterback change in week 4 to put Foles in.
But they're still 5-1.
But you didn't tell me their record.
Yeah, you would have thought.
I would have guessed, okay,
like
1 win,
5.
2 wins, no wins. They're 5-1.
Allen Robinson is he might be the most underrated receiver in football.
I haven't really watched a lot of their games, but it seems like their defense is like doing their job.
David Montgomery's been good too.
Yeah.
I'm
gonna pick LA though, because
I think I'm gonna take Chicago.
Because I don't know, because LA's system though. LA has that system. I feel like they're more of a team. Like when you watch them and you watch Chicago, LA's a little bit more flashy. LA's a little bit more
definitely.
They can like stomp, you know?
It's Sean McVay.
Yeah. They can like push it to the ground.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Chicago's like, okay, flirt pass. We're getting Chicago's like a getting by, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. What's LA's record?
I'm gonna pick what?
What's LA's record?
4-2.
Wow. That's another team. I didn't think they were. I thought they would probably be like 500. I mean, it's only one game over 500, but 4-2 sounds a lot.
Remember, I mean that division's still
really good.
Yet to prove themselves.
That division's
between them, the 49ers, and the Cardinals. Yeah. Seattle's the best team. Seattle's going to win it, but.
Mm-hmm.
And then last but not least, the Philadelphia Eagles and the New York Football Giants on Thursday night.
I'm taking the Eagles, but I don't want to watch.
We don't. I mean, this is like. This is so fitting for a Thursday game.
This is peak Thursday night football.
So fitting for a Thursday night game.
It's going to suck.
It's going to be unbearable. Unbearable. But thank God, the Eagles got rid of that offensive lineman today, who was literally fucking standing there watching Calais Campbell just eat up Carson Wentz. Just eat up our running game. Eat up, and he won the AFC Defensive Player of the Week. I forget his name. I don't want to know his name, but I was literally just watching him and watching the highlights, and it was just like he was standing there. But anyway, I think the Eagles win.
Final score
27-23. And they win on a game-winning drive.
Game-winning drive? Wentz pulls off a game-winning drive.
I will either see that or the Giants win 23-20 on a walk-off field goal.
I'm going to say...
That's how I see... That's the two ways I see this game playing out.
I'm going to say... I think you're on with the Wentz game-winning drive.
So you think it's going to be close?
Yeah. I'm going to say 28-24.
Gotcha.
So really close to what you said. Like 2 points off.
My battery's running low. We got to get out of here.
All right.
Mike, next
is fun.
Wednesday, 7 p.m. Hopefully,
Same
we're
place.
talking about an Eagles win, but we'll see.
Hopefully.
All right. See you, buddy.
All right. See you later.